That has happened. We've tried people and they haven't actually picked up.
And we've never let them know afterwards because it would be too cruel.
It would. Right, now, do you remember brosettes, ripped jeans, bandanas and bottle tops as buckles? They were all down to the massive popularity of the original 80s boy band.
When will I be famous? I can answer. When will I see my picture in the paper? I owe you nothing, nothing at all. I owe you nothing, nothing at all. We've got to try.
Well, Luke Goss is here. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you guys.
You, my friend, are on a roll.
It's good, yeah.
You're on a roll. Just to explain, he's just finished filming a film, which we'll talk about in a second, and you're going to start, and you have filmed another film with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
And you're going to film Blade 2 with Wesley Snipes because he likes you so much.
Yeah, I don't know if he personally likes me so. I flew in from LA yesterday morning.
Yeah, but he has to approve you.
With Blade, he had cast approval on that film, yeah.
Now that is a role. That's what I call a role.
It's a big role. Are you a fan of that film?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, look, let's talk about the film that's going to come out soon. It's called 2 Days, 9 Lives.
Yes.
And you went for one part, but ended up being cast as the lead.
Yeah, it's kind of an ensemble piece. It's about drug rehab. It's post-drugs. It's not concentrating on the drugs. It's concentrating on the emotional kind of repercussions of drugs.
Right.
And one of the parts I was going to play was just an angry character in the movie, and then I guess the antagonist of all the ensemble was a character called Saul. And the director said to me, when an actor knows the part more than I do, and I wrote the role, I should offer him the part. And I took it. I was kind of scared. It was a big role to take on, and I did, and it was a success. The Times said last weekend that it was an outstanding performance. So you try and convince yourself you don't need validation, but when they say someone like that says that, it's a nice feeling.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely, yeah. What's it called, the film again?
2 Days, 9 Lives. Comes out on the 9th of March, I think.
You're a shooter-upper. You're a heroin junkie.
Speedballs, which is cocaine and heroin. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. And to kind of get an understanding, because you've never done drugs, have you?
Never. No. I mean, not really, no. I've dabbled when I was younger, not in anything.
No,
nothing at all.
So you needed to get some kind of understanding of what it's like to shoot up. So you had some B12 injected?
Well, no, you have it, everyone, I think a lot of people have B12s, but if you have it intravenously with it was like a glucose and vitamin C's and B complexes, it takes about 10 seconds to actually straight into your vein. It takes 10 seconds to taste it, and I wanted that because when you see people on film do drugs, they kind of overplay things. And the initial reaction, I was told from a doctor, was that the initial sensation is psychosomatic, and then the actual sensation of the drug kicking in is a few seconds later.
Right.
I just wanted to play it realistically. I didn't want to second guess something like that because it's very important. It's the only time you actually see any taking of any drug in the movie. The rest is just about group therapy, pain, self-denial.
So you got a clear kind of glucose boost in your mouth, did you, about 10 seconds after pushing them?
The B, I think you taste, it's like yeast in your mouth, as if you have it in your mouth, a very strong taste.
So that gave you a model to base...
Just a time frame of understanding how it works. You get a hot flush and just an idea. I mean, you can't take drugs, but you have an idea of the mechanics of the drug hitting your system, you know.
Well, look, before we go on, let's see a clip. Here you are being extremely angry in a car.
Oh, I'm sure.
Extremely.
Lucy in the car, please, just come home.
I am going home. My home, and I'm taking Lucy with me. Because she doesn't need to grow up around in this generation of lost and never found, do you, Lucy? Do you, Lucy?
Daddy, I'm cold.
For God's sake, just sing it. Sing, that will keep you warm.
So can you hear me? So please, just come home.
Oh, louder, Lucy.
Just a little girl, please.
I can't hear you, Lucy.
Wow.
That's good.
Very intense.
Yeah, it is intense.
Yeah.
It was the overhang of that film was, the emotional overhang of that movie was a long...
What do you mean, when you went home, you mean?
Yeah, I remember one time I was in a restaurant and we'd been shooting heavy group scenes all day, like therapy sessions. And it was just in an Italian restaurant, having a pizza with my girl, and it was just watching some stuff, and it was just really... just too much noise, too many people, I had to leave. And it was just a month or so after the film. And even now when I think of Saul, it's almost like a memory rather than a character.
Yeah.
The acting, in fact, you've been acting now in a very low-profile way for about 7 years, haven't you? Because I remember we talked to you after after Bros split, basically. And we were both really impressed by your dignity and determination then to get on with it. And it's really paid off for you. But it's not an overnight success or an overnight sensation. It's 7 long years of hard slog.
Yeah, I mean, I'd built a career, not consciously, on a mud slope before. When you have success so quickly, you're dictated by its momentum. And I thought this time I wanted to make sure that I had some control over that. So I did some rep theatre rather than going straight to the West End. And then I did Grease the Musical in the West End. Then I toured it for 2 years, so there's probably a few people out there who've seen it, probably a couple of million, I think. And then I did a couple of small English movies, then 2 Days, 9 Lives, and then I flew back yesterday from Los Angeles after filming.
You've been filming
Zigzag.
with Wesley Snipes. I'm just reading my notes here. It's called Zigzag.
Zigzag.
You're along Wesley, but your scenes have been shot separately.
Yeah, and also there's a guy called Oliver Platt who's in the film, and a wonderful, wonderful actor all my scenes are with, called John Leguizamo, who was in The Fan with De Niro, and Tu Wong Fu and Carlito's Way.
And you play Cadillac Tom.
Cadillac Tom, yeah, Cadillac. He owns a strip joint, and he's a moneylender. And the two main characters of the movie get in trouble, and they need help. So I put them through the...
And are you a Brit in this?
It was written for an American, but then I played as an American. They liked it. They said, "Can we hear it with an English accent?" And they liked it and rewrote the part for an English.
It was written for a Hispanic American, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was.
And as far as your relationship with Matt's concerned, you still get on, don't you?
Yeah, I saw Matt I saw him for breakfast before I flew back yesterday.
Because he lives in the States now.
Yeah, he does. He's doing his new album and things.
So he's still in the music business.
Yeah, very much. I think he's with Universal, I believe, and his album comes out in the summer, I think.
Yeah.
It's very R&B. The guy that did the R. Kelly stuff did his new album.
Right. And when did you start shooting? Sorry, Judy, go on.
So as far as you're concerned, that's over, singing.
You couldn't twist my Wild Horses wouldn't drag me back in the studio.
What do you think when you see an old clip like that? Because they're always going to run it.
I think it's fun, you know. I was there. I was a young kid, and I left the band when I was 23. I'm 32 now, and I'm very proud of it. It gets old for me sometimes talking about certain aspects of the band, but I think it would be very hypocritical of me to kind of detach myself from my past. I was there. What am I going to do? And I've had some very rocky times, and it's been. You can only say this post-survival, but I'm glad I went through all that stuff, and I'm glad it was kind of painful at times, because I like who I am now, and I have a great perspective. I'm not in awe of fame. I'm not hugely seeking celebrity. It's just nice to work and know that you have projects in the future, and to survive it, like you say, with some dignity and some.
So if you could distill the lesson, as it were, that you learned out of the whole thing that was Bros, what would it be? I mean, is it possible to do that, or is that
it's hard to summarise what you learn. I think you learn to not take the game overly seriously. I think you learn to kind of live a life that's not riddled with compromise, and there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with being foolish, or if you've been arrogant, or if you've been anything that you don't want to be, as long as you learn from that. I think it's a case of just trying. My main thing is try and be the best professional you can be, best human being you can be, and try and strive for just a quality of work. And Bros for me was a great taste of as big as it gets, I guess. Yeah. So it's very hard to be in awe of fame and.
Sure. But I like the line. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes.
Absolutely not. You have to, as long as you learn by them. You know?
Yeah. It's good to see you.
It's really good to see you. I'm so glad things are going so well.
Yeah, me too.
So am I.
Yeah, and good luck with Blade 2, which you start shooting soon.
When I finish, we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Because I've signed all the contracts of not saying a word, but we'll talk about it. I'll watch it.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Smashing.
Nice to see you.
Take care. Right, coming up, we've got.